By the way, it's been a fun day talking sports. Claire Hanna with us from the CFL on TSN. Eddie Steele just with us, dropping truth bombs, backing up Duron Carter.
Yep.
And 3downnation.com's Justin Dunk was with us earlier on. And now we're going to the West Coast. Sukh Chungh joins us. First-round draft pick in the CFL with the Blue Bombers, now with the BC Lions, joining us today. How you doing, Sukh?
Good, man. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And by the way, your position coach, Kelly Bates, texted me last night, said that he's going to be watching, that you're a fantastic young man. And it seems to me like you guys had a lot of excitement going with the BC Lions into this season, and now this. How are you guys as a team dealing with this the pandemic right now?
I think we're all, as a league, we're all in the same boat together. So it's definitely a tough situation, but it's a tough situation for the world. And hope we just all can do our part and get back to things that are normal. And of course, we had a lot of excitement coming into the year, a little bit of a chip on our shoulder from what happened last year. And individually, I had a chip on my shoulder as well. So I was excited to get things going in May, but it's been come to a stop here. So we'll see when things fire up again.
Right. A pause. Let's say a pause, because it will continue at some point, as you know. You said the chip on your shoulder. Yeah. If I may, where did that chip come from? What is motivating you on a daily basis?
Just the season we had last year, I don't think is representative of the guys that we had in that room. And, we've upped the caliber in the room, and just excited because, it was a bit of a roller coaster last year. And I'm just excited to be a part of the BC Lions in 2020, and I think the chip just comes as a whole group, and not living up to the standards we had set up in our room, in our locker room. So that we were all looking forward to getting back on that field.
Well, everybody was surprised about a fifth place finish. I think I had you guys picked third. You probably had you guys picked first. So at some point when this picks up again, you'll have a chance to prove that. But what I keep hearing from the fans is we don't hear a lot from the players. They're just saying, what are the players doing? For yourself, Sukh, in terms of staying in shape? Not a lot of guys got home gyms to push the kind of iron that you're going to. So what is your life like on a day-to-day basis right now?
Well, at the beginning of this whole pandemic here, I didn't have enough weights and stuff, and gyms are closed. But I had like a little bit of weight, but I've gathered some weight from people that weren't using them, and got some chains and stuff like that just to keep things going. And still try to keep myself in a routine. So wake up in the morning, do my daily routine, get on a field, move around, and then lift the weight that I do have. Of course, it's not being in a proper gym or anything, but I guess it will do for now, and it's better than nothing. Do
you work with your own personal trainer, or you're like Chris Boyko? I know your strength coach with the BC Lions, just a super guy. Is he the guy that's directing all your workouts right now? And has he been forced to kind of change on the fly, given the fact that it's just not a normal time? Yeah,
so we have our strength and conditioning coach with the BC Lions, and then I have a guy, Joe McCallum, who works out at UBC. I've been working with him for like the past 4 or 5 years, and just on little, like the small rehab stuff, and just, keep the body healthy and moving right. But both trainers have had to adjust on the fly, and I think Chris Boyko's done a great job on, asking of what we have access to, and then going off of that. And, some guys don't even have any weights, so they maybe more band workouts or whatever that Chris can or my trainer can come up with. We follow the regime.
Sukh, what was it like signing with your hometown team? Aside from the record that the team had, has it been everything that you had hoped that it would be?
It was, an exciting time in my pro career to come back home. It was a long journey to get back to Vancouver, BC, but a lot of, I'm proud to represent this province and this football club. Definitely with the season we had last year, it wasn't, how we wanted things to go, but it's nice to have mom and dad in the stands more than once or twice a year when I was playing in Winnipeg. So it's nice to see them 9 times a year at home, and more family gets to come out, and it's pretty cool, man.
I got to ask you this. Derek Dennis said, because he only got one game with the Guardians, didn't he? One game?
So.
He said the next game he was going to have 2,000 people at MetLife Stadium, because Derek Dennis is from New York State. How many from the Chungh family would be at a Lions game on average? How many were coming out last year?
I would say, the first couple, there was a ton of people that probably never even watched a football game before, but that just came for support. But on an average, I would say probably 25 to 50, but it just varies, sometimes they all don't come out, but I have a majority of a good solid group that comes out and supports me, friends and family included.
So, my friends in the Vancouver media, they all know about the Lions. Everybody makes fun about the Lions' attendance, but they say, from what I hear, you're from there, you tell me if I'm wrong, but what I hear is if this team was a winner consistently, that place would be full, or at least exponentially bigger crowds. It's a fickle fan base out there for the CFL. How do you see it?
Of course, I think the better we do as an organization, the more people we get in those seats. I remember coming to games when I was a kid, and both decks were filled out. So the goal would be to fill BC Place up and make it loud and obnoxious for other teams to come and play.
Yeah, I hate when I hear that those times will never return again. Well, if you think that, they're definitely not going to come back. But I think the BC Place could be full for sure. Sukh, can you take a question or two from our viewers? Do you mind?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is a tough one. It's from Colin in Ottawa. Colin McNulty. He says, ask Sukh, what was it like to see his old teammates in Winnipeg raise the Grey Cup last year? I didn't want to ask it. I'm going to let Colin in Ottawa ask it. Sukh, how tough was that?
I'm happy for the organization of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Definitely a decision I made to come out here, but to see Mike O'Shea and those guys win a cup that they worked hard for, it's nice. It was well-deserved, and I have a lot of friends that I've made over the years over there, and I was happy to see them happy, but, it hurts a little bit, but this is a decision I made to come out here, and we're going to put the BC Lions back on the map here.
Any player that leaves to sign with his hometown team has never regretted it. I don't know one that's regretted it. And I don't think you do either. No. From Tyler in Humboldt, he says, what does Sukh think of his position coach, Kelly Bates? So I mentioned Kelly earlier. What do you like about Coach Bates?
I think Kelly brings a lot to the table. I think Kelly's focuses a lot on our technique and makes us worry about what we can do, not the opponent or whatever. It's a lot on our technique, and he drives a lot of the small details into us, and I think that's very important as an O-lineman. And sometimes as a player, you look over those things, but as a coach, he does a very good job of highlighting these details and always working the details, and I enjoy working with Kelly.
Well, we've enjoyed what John O'Flynn's writing from North Vancouver. He says, family first. He gives a arm flex emoji. Hometown nice. From John in North Vancouver. Well, Sukh, we've enjoyed this visit too. I appreciate... Oh, we got one from our producer, Clark. Who were some of Sukh's favorite offensive linemen growing up? Who'd you
So growing up in the Lions, it was like guys like Angus Reid, Bobby Singh. Around the league, didn't watch a ton of football outside of the BC Lions, but there was a guy named Patrick Kabongo. I thought he was a monster up front, and I watched the Lions O-line quite a bit. Those three guys are the ones that come up to my mind first.
Somebody's going to have to look this up, but I think Patrick Kabongo might be the biggest player that's ever played in the CFL, I think. And I'm not just talking about height. I'm talking about weight. Yeah. And you know what I'm talking about. Right. Dan Payne is another former BC Lion that is in that area. Do you know Dan? I went to school with Dan, I think Dan's son, and Dan used to come around. He's another monster human being as well. Yeah, super guys. Memphis Blues. I got down at Memphis Blues with Dan. Guy knows how to eat. Sukh, we'll let you go. Again, great job in the interview. Can't wait to see you out on the field this year. I appreciate it. All the best, and stay safe out there.
Thank you as well. Take care.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.